Hello and welcome to today's video of the Racing Debrief. And today we're going to go through, was the Las Vegas Grand Prix a good race? Let's break it down, let's talk about it. And let's just see. We had to say there's a lot of things to unpack from this weekend. All the hype that went into it. Of course, one of the most hyped up races I've ever seen since I've been watching F1. And just all around a massive, and I mean, everybody knew about the Las Vegas Grand Prix happening. I mean, I went to trivia on Thursday night, and one of the questions is, "Where's the race this weekend?" Like that's never a question. But in the more current events section of our game, that was one of the questions. F1 race this weekend. Where is it happening? Las Vegas. So I mean, that was in a trivia question. So it was everywhere throughout the week, and there was things that I think could have been a little bit better about it. I think that for me, one thing looking at is the start time of it. Now, granted, for me, I mean, I stay up late, whether it's, just in general, because I'm used to getting up later in the day, so I naturally stay up later at night. Or, again, working on videos. Typically, we don't get to start recording until 10 or 11, so I'm not done until 1 or 2 anyways. So, it's not weird to me staying up to 1 a.m. But I feel like if you're doing it at night in Las Vegas, you probably could have done it earlier. But I guess the reason for that is to close the public roads, the strip. A lot of people like working, commuting. It makes sense to do it later at night. So I get that. But it would have been nice if the race started at 10 Eastern time. I know even that was a bit ridiculous for one of the NASCAR truck race a few weeks ago for Phoenix for the championship. So I would like to see it start a little bit earlier. More people could watch it live, watch it when it happened. I know my brother didn't stay up for it. And I know my parents went to bed at like 9 o'clock. So they all missed it. We didn't really get to talk about the race. But I would like to see that maybe change, but I don't think it will. So yeah, you have a lot of that, that stuff too. But again, super hyped up event. Did a lot of stuff promoting it throughout the week. I'm sure if you're in Las Vegas, everything was F1. I know they had the Netflix Cup on Wednesday. That was interesting, seeing a combination of, two popular Netflix shows with Drive to Survive, and I forgot what their golf one is called, but their golf show on that as well. Kind of a combination of people from that playing golf. I thought it was interesting. First Netflix live event. I did watch that. That'd be kind of cool to check out. Going into the weekend, Thursday, so basically for me, the only on-track action that I watched was the race. I've seen a little bit of qualifying, like in clips. My parents were watching it a little bit. So I've seen part of it, but really my first thing was the race itself. Missed those events. Thursday was I was recording Thursday night, and of course that ended up being basically nothing anyways. And then Friday, for qualifying, it ended up being 3 a.m. on Saturday. So I was like, I went to bed. And then I woke up, and first thing I seen was the results. I'm not watching it. But the race itself was obviously what I was most looking forward to. Questions of how would the track be, racing. I mean, I raced in the F1 game, and it's part of my favorite street circuits. So, I mean, it's one of those things that, how would it go? So, go into it. You do have your opening ceremony. That was dumb. I didn't really watch it. I just seen the drivers getting introduced. Feels a bit unnecessary to have an opening ceremony for a race weekend. Opening ceremony is good for like 2-week event, like the Olympics, but you don't need an opening ceremony for a race. After that, again, you go into practice, right? Practice 1. Drain cover comes up. Carlos Sainz hits it. First of all, Very scary incident in that sense of he hit a drain cover. I mean, that could have been way worse than it was. And then you come to the fact of how that was handled. Carlos Sainz got a penalty for it. He went over the limit. Okay, that's whatever. He went over that limit for the engine. I get it. But the fact that is one of those things where they're like, sorry, track fucked you up, too bad. For me, I wasn't a fan of that. The fact that he had to change. I think that that's one of those spots where there's an incident where he had no control over that. It wasn't the team making a mistake. If you get involved in a crash, you got to fix it. That's one thing, right? You make content on the track, you lose control of the car and crash. Okay, understandable. You've used your parts for the year. But I think that in that scenario, hitting the drain cover, he shouldn't have got a penalty for it. Because I heard him. I mean, he probably would have been, he would have started second, and who knows how the race would have worked out for Ferrari compared to Red Bull in that situation. So I think that it obviously hurt Ferrari. And, yeah, understandably why they're mad about it. Again, all the teams besides Mercedes wanted them to not get a penalty for it, but there's no way that really works out. And again, Mercedes was against it because they don't want their rivals in the championship to beat them. So you have that. The next thing, the fans had to leave. And the fact the fans didn't get a refund for it, I find absolutely ridiculous. Fans had to leave because of the repair time, checking everything, and then by that it was almost 4 a.m. when everything was done. They couldn't have people working. Safety, whatever they said. I get it. There's laws on working and all that stuff. Understandable. You can only work a certain amount of time. You gotta take whatever the rules are in Las Vegas. It's different in every state. So whatever Nevada's rules are on how long you can work. If you need certain break times in there, I get that. But in that situation, you got time to be able to, adequately stay within those rules while also having the fans stay there. So I think you could do something with that. And I think the way they handled it just wasn't the best. If they said, okay, this is why we have to do it, the track has to be open at a certain time, or it's going to be out, I get it. Just say that, though. Instead of being like, oh, well, you can fuck off. And then giving the fans a $200 voucher for the gift shop. Which that's another part of it, was the gift shop purchasing area, merchandise sections, was absolutely ridiculous. The prices on that are insane. Now, I've been to races, not F1, but I've been to NASCAR races, and I get they raised the price on the stuff. There are things that are more money at the track than they are if you bought it online or you bought it in a store, right? I got a Ty Gibbs diecast up here that would have been, I think, $65 online, $65. And on the track, it was $80. I have another Ty Gibbs shirt that's all green. That shirt I bought at the track this year, that was like 38 at the track instead of being like 31 online. Kevin Harvick hat, probably in the same range. But the way that they're doing it at this F1 race is absolutely ridiculous. Again, I get you raised the price a little bit. That's understandable. But a hat going from $45 to $90, I've seen it on Reddit that they had the tag on the inside of the... They just put tags like right here on the brim, price tag, and it has the price on it. And they Sharpied it out. The price is at $45. And then sold it for $90. You had jackets and hoodies. I think there was a Mercedes jacket that was $200. Ferrari hoodie that was $180. Like, come on. Chill. That's a bit insane. And again, just to have the people that only could go to one day because we only went to the Thursday practice sessions to just be like, sorry, best we can do is the $200 voucher. Can't give you a refund. To me, that's a bit dumb. That's a bit obnoxious. Not a fan of that. So yeah, the way they handled that, the way Toto Wolff reacted to it, he's an absolute clown for the way that he handled his response to it. By saying we're not going to talk about this anymore after Friday or Thursday, whatever he said, especially just with the drain cover part of it. he's definitely in the spot of I'm a team owner, not the team principal, because you know damn well if the Mercedes got destroyed in that, he would have been absolutely heated. But the way he handled it in this press conference, just defending Liberty Media to the end, is absolutely ridiculous. So, but we all knew he was a clown from before, right? So, move forward. Again, next day goes well, practice, qualifying, whatever. So let's get to the race. How good was the Las Vegas race? We've had all the criticisms of the practice sessions from Thursday. You've had Max Verstappen having comments every 2 seconds, which is absolutely broken. I love it. But let's get to the racing. What happened on the race? So, start at the beginning. Max makes a brilliant move. Goes a little deep. Now, personally, I was kind of surprised they gave a penalty. I think that it was one of those things that the spot he had, the way the race started, I would have questioned if it was a penalty necessarily. I get why they did it, so I don't have the biggest problem with it. But at the same time, you could have maybe went without a penalty there. The rest of the field had a little bit of a crash there. Alonso, Bottas, Sainz got spun. Perez had a little bit of contact. They all pit. I believe that was a virtual safety car. So you had that. Then you had Lando Norris do his big crash, big spin. He was definitely shaken up from that. He ended up going to the hospital, and I seen a little later today that he's all good now, but definitely a scary crash there, hitting the wall and going to those barriers the way he did. So you had that. Go through the race, and again, it was a solid race. Max definitely didn't have the tire wear going on his side compared to Charles Leclerc at the beginning. So Max kind of pit early, served the penalty, and he came out a little further down the order. Then he had to kind of George Russell because he did his thing of driving into people as he does typically once a week. Drove into Max a little bit. He got a penalty for it. Had some damage to his car. Then they had another safety car for picking up the debris from that, where you then seen Max able to get up to third or fourth. Some of the other cars that didn't pit were trying to do one stop. And once again, Ferrari threw an opportunity. So Checo would pit, Max would pit. They were in a great spot. Charles Leclerc did not. He stayed out on the track. So he had the 5-lap older tires. And towards the end, Max was able to sort of chase him down, get by him, and he took off, got by Perez. But then it was Perez and Leclerc. They were going back and forth. Perez, 2 times in the race, threw in a corner against Charles Leclerc. He just didn't brake late enough, didn't go deep enough in the corner. Put Leclerc in a great spot to pass him, and Leclerc ended up getting second. And you could definitely see in the cool-down car, because they didn't have a cool-down room, they had a cool-down car. So, in that, you could definitely see Checo was disappointed in getting past the way he did. 2 weeks in a row, he's gotten past going to the line. So, yeah, I think I put out scheduled Perez mid-tweet. I think I posted that. Just because it's come on, dude. Be better, my guy. Be better. He was able to get second in the championship, but damn, that's tough. Especially after not a great qualifying performance. Dude's not killing it. Let's put it that way. So again, after the race, I thought again there was a lot of action on the track, a lot of passing. DRS down the Las Vegas Strip was very strong. Getting a lot of overtakes. The service actually did pretty well. I definitely thought we were going to see more incidents, cars sliding around on that first lap than we did. I thought we were going to see a few more crashes, but really only Lando had his big crash. A little bit of the crash at the beginning, a little incident, but nothing too wild. I definitely thought we'd see a little bit more of that, but I thought it was a good race. I think it's definitely general consensus that it's good, and general consensus is people liked it. People thought it was good, especially compared to Miami. Miami is the other new track they sort of put on as the glamour event. Obviously, Las Vegas is superior to that. Superior than racing around a football stadium's parking lot and roads nearby. But yeah, Las Vegas had it. I think it was good. I think the area looked cool. I mean, I like the look of the track. The casinos on it, the Sphere, using that was awesome. Um, once we got focused on the racing, I really liked it. I think that for me, I'm not interested in the celebrities that show up to a race. I couldn't care less. And all the stuff before it doesn't matter to me. That's why I think a lot of the takes that Max had on it was very good. Because I agree with it. We're just here to watch racing. Let's not focus on all the other stuff. I like that part. Once we got to the racing, I liked it. Again, great race. So after the race, the drivers had to get into a Rolls Royce and then go down the strip to do their interview in front of a casino, which then had the water going. I forgot what it's called. Something. Had the big fountains. Looked really cool. And they got back in the car, went back down the strip to the start line, where they then did the podium ceremony. I'm very surprised they didn't just build a podium into their building. Again, Formula One owns that section. The start line is first few turns of the track. They own that part. So why they didn't build a podium into that and it's just a giant platform that's in the middle of the track, no idea. But that's what it was. So, yeah. Overall, I think it's a good weekend. I liked it. I like Las Vegas. I think it's definitely was better than I would expected. Better than I even, hoped it would be. I think it was definitely a good race for the year, and we got one more to go. So, Abu Dhabi next week. Wrap up the F1 season, and we'll wrap up the racing debrief until the end of January. So, that'll be about a 2-month break. We'll be back. Again, we got next week. They'll have a break until we kind of give a little bit of season preview for NASCAR before the LA Clash. So, be ready for that. But again, next week, the final episode of the Racing Debrief for 2023, as we take a look at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and wrap up this year. So, with that, thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next one.